Fucking
So is
hell.
everyone good to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, to kind of recap where we were, everyone went on their separate adventures. I figure that you guys would use the train ride from London to Dover to kind of catch each other up on what happened in the interim. However, there's one little bit of retconning I'd like to do, and I think I'm going to allow enough time for someone to go investigate Matthew Puck's apartment. Um, because of the way you guys did it and going strictly by the book, you would not really have had time, but I think there's some key, the potential for some key information is there if you can get in. And I think that would be something I'm going to allow. The other thing we have to do is there's still a lot of prep work to do while you're in London. Like you gotta get your papers sorted. You have to get clothes.
I know a guy. Get our papers.
Yeah. You definitely need clothes because
Well, we need you cracking locks. I think you're the one who needs to be at Pook's.
Yeah, as you will discover, like you can't even eat on the Orient Express without having a dinner suit. So you're not allowed in the dining cars unless you're properly attired, things like that. So that's all got to take place.
It's out of luck for Vyacheslav is out of luck, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna
I
have
just want to remind everyone, at one point in my life, I was a highfalutin person.
Yeah, but you're in London now, Bear.
How the mighty have fallen.
Opportunity for Edmund and
Can you bring me up to speed one more time? Who's Pook?
Pook was a student of Professor
He
Demir.
was the student. Alright, he was the one we fucking shot.
He's the withered man,
monster.
Yep.
Yes, he was the withered man who turned into the creature. He was sent to spy on
Moncamp or something like that.
Who was the
Metcalf?
We saw a smuggler, right? We went to the smuggler's house, right? I can't remember whose house we went to.
You broke into an apartment that belonged to Bernie.
Yeah, who was a reporter, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what it
blackmailer Bentley Burnham or something like that.
That's
Bentley
what it
Burnham.
was. Yeah. There you go.
And that didn't turn up anything for reasons unknown. And you also were able to break into DeVore's house. You discovered that he apparently owned a copy of the Whispering Fez. It is now
gone
somewhere, and you jacked the ledger because you couldn't read it. So you have the ledger from his business. And that was pretty much where you left off.
Hopefully one of the actually smart people of the party can figure out what the hell this ledger is about.
So it's up to you guys. Would you like to, well, technically, actually, how is Daniel set for clothes as well? Does he need to go to a tailor as well?
Well, Daniel has some fine clothes, as he does have to often meet, high-end people for his job. So, but he probably doesn't have like the highest of end clothes. Like he might have like a decent button shirt and a jacket, but he won't have a tie with him or anything like that. So he probably will have to go to the tailor, but he probably won't need to spend quite as much as
Okay.
somebody else might have to.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna need to bring like 8 or 9 suits, I'd say.
Then yeah, probably.
Because your dinner suit that's for dinner only.
But of course.
Okay.
Okay, so Daniel and Salvador are going to break in, right?
Where are they broke in?
Well, we're not gonna break in. We're gonna find entry.
There you
go. So Matthew Pook kept a small, modest flat in Lambeth, and he worked out of the British Museum Library. So Professor Smith has given you the address courtesy of Professor Demir. The flat is one of 8 in a narrow building. The building has a caretaker. His name is Josiah Griggs, who lives on the ground floor. He has a flat with a sign that says caretaker on its door.
Is this like a busy area we're in? Like people are constantly walking back and forth?
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's right in downtown. It's close to the British Museum. There's a lot of students in and out, and it looks like basically the building is just students that live there.
At that point, I will turn to Daniel and say, you think you'll need a distraction, friend?
Certainly, Salvador. Your specialty, I see.
Very well, if I must.
Don't
Let's
lie,
see.
you're going to enjoy this.
Someone isn't. Oh, my question is, do I see any jocks? At least, like what it would be for the era.
No. There's someone with an apple cart across the street.
Alright, so there's that. Let me see, I'm gonna do a spot hidden. Check to see if I can find other things that I could use to my advantage in order to create a big enough distraction for my friend.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
Well, as is, at first, considering that I am quite the social personage, I was considering, maybe finding someone that looks likely to pick up a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And, I try to kind of goad him into it, make it look like I am the one in the right.
Mm-hmm.
Because, there's few things that draw as much attendance as weddings, burials, and fistfights.
Mm-hmm.
He's right.
So, okay, we'll say that you're kind of trying to find someone that would be a likely mark on the street. And while you're doing that, caretaker's door opens, and you see Mr. Griggs come out, and he has, broom in his hand or whatever. He's coming around, and he sees you both standing there, and he says, excuse me, sirs, is there something I can help you with?
Oh, in fact, there is. I know there is a friend of mine that used to live here, but I have not heard of him in a pretty long time.
I kind of just nudge him and I go, we're with the Scotland Yard. Mr. blah, 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 I can't remember his name, has unfortunately passed away. We're here to go through his things to see if the murderer might have left anything.
Oh, so that's terrible. I'm very sorry to hear that. He was a pretty good person, Matthew was, but he was always late paying his outstanding rent. Of course,
I asked him if he noticed anyone coming to his flat at late hours of the night.
I can't say that I have, and I'd be more than happy to let you search his room. But first, I need someone to take care of his outstanding debts.
How much is it?
Fucking Christ.
He owes me £5. £5.
Care. I kind of lean into Salvador. I'm like, well, detective, and I kind of lean into him, perhaps we should just tell him to take it up with the city, or perhaps you could fast talk your way out of this real quick.
Very well, I know the perfect way of persuasion here, and I give the man £6.
That's not what I meant.
And, I just give Daniel this sideways
like a
glance,
year's rent.
with a smirk, as in, my boy, I've got money. Of course, I don't say that in character because it would not fit with the.
Yeah. So
sting.
thanks you, gentlemen. But that's not necessary. Just the £5 will do. I'm an honest landlord.
Oh, I know, but cooperation with justice must surely be rewarded.
Well, thank you, Constable.
Detective.
What did you say your name was?
Well.
Oh shit!
Better talk fast.
What was the name of the constable who came to my house?
No.
I would obviously have remembered his name.
Smith.
Well, there was Archie
No.
Moore.
No, not that guy. Fuck that
No,
guy.
Detective Smith from Scotland Yard.
See, I've got the accent, so What I'm gonna say is, I am a relatively recent transfer. There is this sort of.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for you to pan yourself off as an English police officer.
Exactly. There's this. Well, I cannot say much. Let's just say that there is this sort of initiative of international cooperation. My name is Rodrigo, and this is my fellow detective. I am being introduced to how the British folks do things. This is my first case, but I believe I can provide man inside, of course.
He's already
There's
like
nothing.
checked out. Like, okay, I got work to do.
Exactly.
So he hands you the keys, and he just asks you to, when you're done, just leave the keys inside the apartment.
It will be no problem. And once he leaves, I'm just gonna say, see, we definitely need to work more on our covers. We need to be on the same page, man.
I kind of, scoff a little bit and be like, I was perfectly fine. I don't know about you. Talk way too much. And I keep walking. And I kind of like give him the wave at him, and I kind of walk towards the building and enter it.
Yeah, Daniel's the master at waving, like shooing people away. So you open the door, and when you open the door, you see that someone has apparently broken in through the back window and is currently searching the apartment. And he kind of like...
Does he see us?
Well, he hears you open the door because you guys are talking and stuff. And as you realize what's going on, he's already heading out the window.
I'm going to use my fleet-footed skill to try and tackle him.
Okay, that's a skill you have?
Yes.
It's not left over from
Well, it's a
One
trait.
Ring?
I was gonna say, are we playing the One Ring?
Hell of a
No, it's
swiftness.
a trait. Dude, my name is Daniel the Fleetfoot, okay? I'm fleet-footed.
Okay, so is that a percentage that you need to roll?
This one just says, if I like +1 additional move or +2 if I roll a 1 to 4 or 5 to 6.
Okay, beautiful. Well, this place is really small, so I would say that you're able to catch up to him pretty quick.
Do I have to roll for a tackle or anything, like for a strength or anything like that?
Well, what are you gonna try to do? I guess.
So you say he's trying to rush out the window?
Yeah. So do you like shout and then run after him, or?
Yeah. So like I see him there. He's trying to dive out the window. I go stop, and I kind of go and I try to tackle him like towards the floor, so preventing him from getting out the window.
Okay, cool.
And
So
I
he
will
kind of
help.
like stops and he turns. He's like, "Member of the press. I'm a member of the press."
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna save him from the double team because Daniel comes first, but then I come.
So after he's like throwing his hands up, I sort of like grab him on the shoulder, and I'm like, "Do you have any identification?"
He says, "Yes, I do. If you allow me to just reach into my pocket and get it."
I sort of like,
Never heard.
I'm sort of like
treating
watching
the
his hand
press
just in case there was
this
a
way.
weapon. Like, well, you are on a crime scene. So I'm still like keeping up the Detective Smith persona.
Yeah, in my case, what I'm gonna say is, when I see him reach for the pocket, since he's already doing the Detective Smith persona, might as well capitalize on that. Don't worry, we'll reach for it. And as Daniel holds him in place, I reach for the pocket that he was gonna get the ID from. Kind of very professional frisking.
That's fine. Hang on one second. I just need to. Okay, great. So, what is your dexterity, Salvador?
I've got a pretty good dexterity. My dexterity is 70.
And what is your dexterity, Daniel?
86.
86. Okay, so you're both infinitely faster than this guy. So I would venture to say that yes, you're able to do it. Now this guy's like in his mid 40s. He appears to be. He's not a very young guy.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. He kind of holds up his hands. You go through his pockets. You do find credentials that say he's a reporter with the Birmingham Daily Mail.
Is he our blackmailer reporter?
You don't know. You have to understand, this is 1893. People don't have driver's licenses.
No, I thought his badge, reporter badge, might have had his name on it. I asked him what his name.
it does.
Sorry. I
It
introduced
does
myself
not.
as Detective Smith, and I asked what his name is and why he's doing
But
it.
you also find a derringer on his person as well.
Those aren't illegal, right? Like, I wouldn't know if those are illegal or anything, so it's fine. He's carrying it. I don't have to worry
Well,
about it.
guns are outlawed in England, period. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were outlawed by this period.
I pull out the derringer, since I imagine that Daniel was keeping him in check.
Well, I mean, so far you haven't done anything really physical to him. You're just faster than he is at this point.
Yeah.
So he explains. He says, He says,
Mhm.
Burnham's my name, Bentley Burnham. And
Yeah,
what's
that's
yours,
our-
may I ask, sir?
I am Detective Smith with the
I didn't
Scotland Yard.
I didn't see any badge on you.
Well, unfortunately for you, I do not have to present a badge. Now, why are you here in this crime scene?
I'm a reporter. I'm investigating his mysterious disappearance. What are you doing here?
I'm investigating his death.
And if you're a copper, then I'm a dwarf.
Yeah. At which point, like, I'm just gonna, like, pull out my.
I know all about you, Daniel. Pull it off.
Once he says that, I decide to just throw the civility, and since I've risked him and I
Oh,
assume I
shit.
got the danger, I'm just gonna point the danger at him and say, "Well, isn't it nice to be surrounded by scoundrels then, reporter, or should I say, blackmailer?"
Look, I'm just trying to make an honest living in the world. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to make ends meet. I'm sure you know what I mean. Although maybe you don't. Look at the way you're dressed, sir. Daniel understands. Got to make a living in this town.
I let him go. Like I'm not touching him anymore. Take a step back. I mean, I ask him if he knows that the man he's looking for is dead.
I did not know that at all. I was hired by someone to just investigate this place and look it up. All right, you figured it out. The reporter thing is my cover. Can I have my credentials back, please? Anyway,
I sort of take it from Salvador, and I'm holding it, and I'm like, who hired you?
um,
So I sort of like act like I'm gonna hand it to him, and then
I will tell you, he will not disclose. He will not disclose who hired him. He's like, I'm Daniel. Of all people, you should understand the need for discretion here. Is it all right if I reach in my pocket and take a cigarette out?
a nod to him. Honor
he
among
reaches in his
thieves.
coat and he pulls out this rather nice sterling silver cigarette case. He opens it. He holds it out to you.
Yeah, I take one, and
Holds
I
it out
ask him.
to you, Salvador.
I mean,
And
for
he
the
takes-
time,
Persuade this
He
guy.
takes a cigarette as well.
Mhm.
Lights it with a shaky hand. His hands are. He's like, I swear, I'm not cut out for this. This is definitely not my line of country.
what was the name that the guy that Puck had was investigating? I forgot.
Men camp or something like that.
Yeah, Mencalf.
Menkov.
I will ask just straight up. Would by any chance your employer's name be Menkov?
Never heard of him.
Can we tell if he's lying?
You can try to tell if he's lying.
Spot hidden?
Probably
No,
psychology, I would think, yeah.
it's going to be psychology.
Fuck.
Oh wait, wrong button.
Oh, wrong one. Shit, my bad. It's black or green? I can't remember.
Green. It's a green.
Oh! Look at that!
Nice.
You cannot tell if he's lying.
Huh.
Alright. I kind of hand him back his badge. And
Yeah, it's like, look, man, I was just hired to see what was going on with this kid. I didn't find anything except this. And he
Mhm.
pulls out of the pocket a journal. He's like, I was going to read it when I had the chance, but go ahead, take it if you want.
So I take it from him and I open it to make sure it's legit, not something he carries on him real quick. And
Yes, so it does appear to be the journal of Matthew Cook. There are several entries from the last week, but it doesn't look like Bentley has had time to do anything. It looks like he had just pocketed it when you arrived. In fact, he explains that he was just going to grab the journal and split. He's not looking for any trouble. He's just trying to
Mhm.
get some information for the person that was asking and be on his way. He doesn't
Mhm.
he doesn't involve himself in the particulars. He really doesn't care.
well, I tell Bentley to be careful. This man was caught up in a series of murders and sites that are quite gruesome, and he should
Mhm.
best be careful, as his employer might be the man who murdered this young man.
And at that point,
As professionalism speaking.
He says, he goes, thanks, Daniel. I'll return the favor.
Question is, did he say the name of whoever hired him?
No, he will not reveal the name of his
So that's it's basic,
employer.
basic,
But he will return the favor to you, and he says Scotland Yard's got its eye on you. You should be careful.
Yes, they've already paid me a visit recently.
And then he very ungracefully exits through the window because his dexterity is quite low.
Before he does that, I return his derringer.
Okay, he thanks you, puts it in his pocket. You hear him like skitter through the back alley.
Actually, you know what? As I hand him, like I will put on the same palm that I'm handing the derringer. I'm gonna put a pound.
Okay.
Man, you're just handing out
He
gold,
loves
man.
being
That's
made
like
money.
a year's
See?
salary for Vyacheslav over there.
Yeah, I mean, see, like, I am Spaniard, which means that first we crash the gold market and then the silver market. We've got plenty of stuff.
After he hops out, I'm gonna take a look around the room because I'm a little bit more of a keen eye than this petty blackmailer.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm gonna do the same. I don't have as much of a keen eye as he does, but assistance.
So, he lives in a small single room piled with papers and notes. Letters from his parents can be found. Smith promises to contact them with the sad news. Oh, sorry, that's Professor Smith.
A lot of
Letters
Smiths.
from his parents. Yeah, and you were
So
supposed
nothing
to
of
have.
consequence.
No, you were supposed to have searched for his journal, but since you got there when Burnham was there, he had already found it.
He saved us the trouble.
I can show you the journal, however.
He carries the blood-red fez that Professor Demir describes in his nondescript hat box of dirty brown. Neither he nor his minions seem willing to touch it.
My researchers at British Museum Library have called me away from time to time, but my regular checks on Menkav and his minions reveal things are unchanged. They are staking out a house in the third blithering lane in Rotherhithe. I have asked around and learned a fast collector lives there. Professor Demir says I should be cautious, but I easily outwitted the clods Menkav has got in the place. I am confident none saw me.
Menkav plans to depart soon on the Orient Express bound to Constantinople. I saw him purchase tickets for he and his followers, though I could not tell where they intended to travel. There seems to be something else he wants before he can leave London. It could not be the fez, since he came to London with it.
I have decided to steal the fez from under Menkav's nose. While he is busy in Rotherhithe, I shall break into his room and steal the blood-red fez itself. With this as my prize, I can speed back to Constantinople and hand it over to Professor Demir. Imagine the look on his face. Poor fool.
Well done.
Yeah, nice reading. Yeah, the poor fool.
So after we read those, I kind of look at Salvador and I'm like, perhaps we should be leaving. I'd hate to be here when the real constables arrive.
Agreed.
And we make a hasty retreat.
Okay. Are you taking the journal with you?
Yes.
And are you taking the letters from his parents?
Why not?
Yeah, you can give them to Smith, and Smith will make sure it gets back to his family.
Yep.
Okay, so you basically sweep the room and take anything that would be of, personal value to his family.
Yeah.
Terrific. And then I'm assuming you guys were planning on meeting back, not at the professor's, but probably, I would say, you're going to meet at...
We can meet at my flat.
Yeah, I think more likely, you probably would go to Thomas Cook & Son, where you can purchase, oh my goodness, it's 58 pounds per person.
Ooh.
For the Orient Express.
Ooh.
Just for the tailor or for the tickets?
No, that's for the
58.
tickets.
That is for one ticket on the Orient Express.
But that's being covered by the Baron, right?
The Baron is paying for all of you. Unfortunately, Edmund, you're going to have to foot the bill for your servants, which are a...
You're bringing your servants?
Yes. Why would I not? Why would I
Daniel.
travel across Europe without a servant, without my
That will
man
cost
servant?
you
Oh my
a
God.
paltry 88 pounds for the two of them.
88 pounds. Okay, I can swing that.
Here, I'll be right back.
So
Grab my
Thomas
food.
Cook is really where you would get the tickets and also kind of get your papers sorted.
We also
going-
need to get suits for everyone as well.
Yes.
Mhm.
So what I think is, how about if I read to you guys some stuff from their companion guide? In other words, Orient Express actually had like a little travel guide.
Hmm.
And if I read a little bit from that, maybe that will help you guys realize what you're gonna need. Okay, so here we go. Things you need to know about your trip. The Compagnie Internationale de Wagonlit welcomes you aboard the Orient Express. We pride ourselves in our incomparable service. When you ride the Orient Express, your experience is the ultimate in luxury travel. The Orient Express carries the elite of Europe. Here you will see aristocrats of all nations, from the royals of the Balkan kingdoms, to Indian Maharajas, to titans of finance and industry, arms dealers and oil barons, diplomatic couriers, famous musicians, stars of stage on screen, dancers and opera singers. Traveling on the Orient Express is the ultimate symbol of success. Vyashalev is gonna love this.
Like a fish in water.
You're making it too easy for him.
Our dining facilities are as elegant as our cuisine is exquisite, as the greatest of Parisian restaurants. Our renowned wagon restaurant is lit by gas chandeliers of brass and crystal. The ceiling is painted with cherubs and figures of Greek mythology. The tables are set with baccarat crystal, starched napery, and monogrammed porcelain. There is a smoking salon for the gentlemen and a ladies' parlor. Guests are reminded that evening wear is required for their seating in the dining car. Okay. Now,
Sounds like it's
boy,
gonna be a
you're-
good time.
to know the fine print, passengers are reminded that in each country, police check the passengers' passports and visas on boarding or departing the train. There is also a customs check at each frontier. The chef de brigade, that is the head of the whole shoot match, is always present during these checks. The conductor of each car will take possession of your visas and passports so that you are not disturbed by immigration arrangements. Your documents are securely held by the chef de brigade. The French franc is the standard currency aboard the Oriental Express. The currency of the nation within which the train is present will also be accepted. The capability and aplomb of their staff is legendary throughout Europe. They hire only the best chefs, conductors, and managers, and you may rely utterly on their discretion, intelligence, and discipline. Their staff is easily identified by their white uniforms, although please note that in inclement weather, staff alighting at the platform will wear greatcoats. Yes, so that is kind of like what you're in for. So you need to have your papers sorted as well.
Yeah, which I mean, in my case, I should.
That's the easy part.
I think that for all of you, it should be pretty simple. Vyashalev, you have some sort of
So
visa.
I would say, Ben, that as long as I've been in England, I probably would have already gone through that whole process.
Yes, if not, the Baron can pull diplomatic strings and arrange, an identity for you, if you would prefer.
Hey, it's the only trouble I might have is the Scotland Yard. Jesus, want me to stay in the
If
country?
they put out a search warrant for you, you will not make it to Paris.
Ooh.
But
But I'm not currently
Shame.
I'm not currently wanted for anything.
I
You
think
don't know
if,
that.
Well, I think if they would have wanted you, they would have pulled you in, but they did tell you not to leave town.
Well, they won't know I'm leaving town until it's too late.
That is a possibility.
Well, I'm not going to tell anyone I'm leaving.
Well, you have to tell someone. Your business still has to run.
Shit. You're right.
I mean, you can always say that you're going, I don't know, like maybe on a, like, tell your assistant or whatever, like, you know, your secretary, that you're going on a job at the Oxford.
Secretary? What kind of job do you think I have?
Look, man, if you don't have a secretary for your job, then, you know, like, you're doing something
Welcome
wrong.
to Fleetfoot Incorporated. We steal the best things.
Exactly.
You see my assistant.
Mhm.
For all arrangements. If you think we have
You did the
stolen
publicity.
something from you, you were wrong. Go away.
Mhm. Perfect.
Okay, so we have a little time to prepare, right?
I'm going to allow a little bit of time, yeah, because the time frame is really tight and you spent most of your time researching.
Mhm.
So Edmund is going to prepare some money to travel, so he's going to get a large stack of cash to take with them.
Yeah, you're gonna need lira when
Yeah.
you're in Turkey.
So I can take up to 4,500 pounds. If I have a couple of days to prepare, I can get my hands on 4,500 pounds, which I can, I guess, get in a number of denominations, so we can cover whatever expenses we have on the trip.
I would say that when Nigel
lot of
brought
money.
your wardrobe round, that you told him to talk
Yeah,
to the S.
and
Sheka
my wardrobe consists of a very large steamer trunk that Nigel's probably schlepping all over the place.
This poor Nigel character, man.
He's his Alfred.
Yeah, he is my Alfred.
Nigel's probably like the actual supervillain.
Yeah, exactly, right? He's Menkampf.
He's actually the villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was home
No,
brewing
Nigel's
this,
an
that
old
would be a
family
possibility.
servant, so he's well treated and well compensated. I just expect him to do his job.
He's your Alfred.
He is.
In my case, considering that, you know, like, this is about that time period, like, I would imagine that the Rothschild have, like, you know, like, their banks all across the important cities. So I'm just, you know, like, prepare as much money on coin as I can, and then everything else is just gonna be like banknotes.
Yeah, I mean, you're royalty, correct? You're
Yeah,
nobility.
well, yeah, nobility, like, father's
Yeah,
a
so
duke.
you would have exchequer, like you would actually have drawn directly from the crap, what is that thing called where they keep all the money in the country?
From the royal
Vault? Treasury? I don't know.
The treasury.
From-
Yeah, sorry.
Mhm.
Man, my
Yeah.
brain.
Dude, I know what you're feeling, yeah.
Yeah, you would have treasury notes.
all right.
So we'll get our cash all prepared. We'll get suits for Vyacheslav and whoever else is lacking in, formal dress wear.
Yeah, so when you
You know, if
bring
they're off the
Vyacheslav
rack
to
or
your
whatnot.
tailor, he's like,
And I tell the tailor as well, get a barber in here. We need to do something about that beard.
Oh, my beard's already gone.
His
Remember,
beard,
I
he
shaved
shaved
it.
it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
yeah.
I'm keeping mine.
Vyacheslav would have made hasty arrangements for his family to be, shipped over to America. That's kind of what he would be spending his time doing, at least until he needed to go with Edmund to go get his tire and whatnot taken care of.
Yeah, you got him. You secured them passage on a boat.
And that probably would have been a very saddening event.
Oh yeah,
Especially
he's saying
since
goodbye to his
Vyacheslav
only
is
child.
like, I have no idea if I'm going back.
Yeah.
They don't know, and your wife is extremely worried. She knows something is up. She won't say anything further about it, but she has a horrible feeling about the whole thing.
The only possessions that Vyacheslav actually would bring with him from his home are his father's notebook, which is now also the book of, what was it called?
You
Oh,
have
our
what's called
Apocrypha of the Fez, or
Apocrypha
whatever.
of the
Yes.
Fez.
Yeah.
That book is now also the Apocrypha of the Fez, and then he would grab his lucky copy of the Communist Manifesto and put it in his bag. Grab his rifle, grab his handgun, whatever bullets were in with it.
Mhm. I mean, you could grab your rifle and pass it off as, like part of Edmund's hunting equipment.
Yeah, but you can't carry it around is the problem.
Yeah, you can't carry it.
Yeah, because we're going to be going through customs and stuff, right?
Mhm.
I mean, are derringers something that are allowed to be carried on the train, or?
Well, here's the deal. If it's a carry-on thing, they're not going to inspect your cabins.
Okay.
So basically what happens is the rich people stay in their cabins and they let the people on the train deal with all the details.
Mhm.
So depending on how rough the customs guys are, and there are many custom stops on this ride,
Mhm.
they may confiscate stuff, they may not. But
Mhm.
you won't know about it until you get to Constantinople in any case.
Mhm.
I mean, in my case, I could, in theory, try to use my pull. Because, like, people of noble blood tend to get away with more things, but of course, it's not like a surefire thing.
Well,
That's
especially when you're just you're one fish in a pond of many similar-sized fish.
Oh, yeah. But at least, like, at least in my case, I am on that same level. Everyone else, as far as I know, only Edmund, like, they would consider as a true equal.
Your humbleness knows no bounds.
Look, I've been surrounded by those sharks for a long time. I know how they think.
Yeah. So I think I mean I'll take my shotgun in as like hunting equipment or whatever, disassembled in my steamer or whatnot, but I may pick up a sword cane just as something to carry with me. Since I already have a walking stick, I can just replace it with a sword cane and at least have some sort of self-defense weapon that's not a firearm. Less conspicuous, maybe.
I mean, in my case, if I have to give like a reason why I'm bringing my pistol, long story short is gonna be like, since we're heading for Constantinople, and like of course, how are we supposed to trust those Eastern devils? Safety measures. Like, I'm sure that every
until you get to the customs stop where the Eastern devils are the ones in charge.
Well, the thing is, if you look at,
like, we just changed the letter at that point.
Right.
Well, the thing is, if you look at travel guides of the period, they all recommend bringing a gun.
Do they? That's funny.
Exactly.
They're like, bring a derringer because it's just horrible. They can't. It's so. People go there for the adventure of it, but once they get there, they're like, this place is a dump. Because it wasn't until the main hotel in Constantinople wouldn't be finished for like a few years to come yet. So in 1893, there aren't many places to stay.
All right, well, maybe I'll pick up a small derringer then.
Yeah, see, he recommends taking your own cutlery, a teapot, condensed milk, and a Dean and Adams revolver, and a collapsible bath. So they really, like, I mean, the English had a lot of contempt for people there.
Yeah. And there's also
Vyacheslav would also bring his Bowie knife, the one that he carries with him all the time.
Yeah, just scratch your beard with it.
Pretty much. That's basically all he does with it.
It just looks the part.
No, he actually uses it, for work. Which that's another thing, is that Vyacheslav would have probably just quit his job at the London. What was it? The London Electric, whatever it was, the first electric company in London. He would have just quit.
Yeah, you're the only one of the party that actually has to answer to someone else. Everyone else in the party is pretty much on their own.
Yeah, I mean, as is, I'm basically a wastrel.
He's a wealthy couch potato.
He does have reasons to be in London, though. Which, speaking of, I will send a letter myself, one to my brother and another one to my estranged, so to speak, sister. You know,
Mhm.
she's estranged from the main family branch, but not from, not from Salvador.
So Daniel is definitely gonna need to go get some suits. He's gonna need to stop with the tailor. On his way back to his apartment after splitting up with Salvador, he went and rearmed himself. He picked up his, leather coat, which he hides and stuff, his, lockpicks and stuff like that, and he's gonna sure to bring that with him, his trusty thief wear. He's also gonna bring his 44 Webley and his knife.
Mhm.
Keeps his knife kind of, tucked away so he can keep it for close encounters, and unless they're really frisking him for it, he knows where to hide it.
Wait, I had a perfect idea to give both you and Vyacheslav even a better cover, so to speak. I am a member of a noble family, and if I'm traveling to,
No.
Barbarian land,
No.
you are my bodyguards.
Oh, I think you would say servant.
Nah, you are my
like,
bodyguard.
not gonna happen.
Nah. You're just supposed to keep me safe, not to carry my luggage or that stuff. I have hands.
I'm also going to write like a personal note or message, not explaining in detail what's going on, but just explaining like where I'm going and.
Yeah, you have a couple like lieutenants that basically, do like initial meetings and stuff with people to make sure that it's all on the up and up.
Yeah.
Plus
This isn't for them though. This is gonna be. I'm gonna leave this on the with a special messenger of mine, and I'm gonna make sure it gets to my sweetheart before I leave.
Oh, okay.
I'm also gonna get some messages to my lieutenants, like you said, to make sure everything's going. But I'm not gonna be saying I'm going on the Orient Express. I'm just gonna be saying I'm heading up north for a while to do
Right,
what's
you're skipping town for a minute.
other business. Yeah. But definitely not gonna say I'm going to Dover or wherever.
Right.
So the first thing that would happen when Vyacheslav, after he says goodbye to his family, I imagine the first person he meets up with is Edmund, and
Yeah, they're probably going to need to spend a little time together at the tailor's.
well, it's not like Vyacheslav doesn't know his way around a suit, but it's been a long time since he's worn one, and his arms have gotten a lot bigger.
He's been working out.
Well, I mean, he operates heavy machinery and does all kinds of physical factory work.
Well, I have just the man for you. He'll take good care of you.
His name is
Mhm.
Adrian.
My man Adrian is the finest tailor in London. We'll get you sorted in no time, my friend.
Absolutely, I greatly appreciate it.
And don't worry
Should
about
we
the
also
cost. This
take
is all on me, my friend. You did fantastic work at the library the other day. I'm really impressed.
Were you going to
Like-
say fantabular?
I was going to say fantabulous.
He's inventing new
once again,
words.
I am deeply indebted, and he's not gonna let on too much that he, what he believes in. But you could tell he's very surprised by your generosity. And he says, perhaps we should also wait for Daniel, the thief. I believe he probably needs a suit as well. Yes.
Yes.
At that moment, I walk in. I'm like, thief is a very brazen word. I am artist. Trying to jokingly, and I kind of clasp them back up both on.
My
the
friend
back.
Daniel here is not a thief. He is an art taker.
A partaker in the arts.
Well,
Yeah.
Going by yourself. And I will say, well, for the time being, the both of you will be most esteemed bodyguards. After all, I don't think the customs officers will be too partial. Otherwise, John Ward. Oh, by the way, I've come here to help with your fashion sense.
A Spaniard telling an Englishman what fashion is, please, sir.
You see, much like in cuisine, also in dressing, we beat the British.
As long as you do not make me wear fuzzy fits, I am happy.
Oh, do not worry.
No
Waistband
fuzzy
is
fuzz
fine.
for you.
Adrian says, "Oh, you would like to you'd like to see our selection of fezzes, would you?"
And everyone in the room just no.
No.
It's like the record scratch moment.
Mhm.
Suddenly the joy dies down and we all stare at him.
I pulled my gun out. No, I'm just...
So while you're doing all that, Nigel obviously is standing there ready to make sure everything gets carted correctly and brought to the station.
Sure, yeah, and I'll leave that all up to him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's my man. I trust him.
But he does want to have a moment to speak with you, Edmund, on the side while the other gentlemen are getting measured up.
Yes,
Mhm.
my good man. What can I help you with?
Far be it for me to overstep my bounds, Master
Please,
Gorgon.
please. You know, I trust you. Say what's on your mind.
Do you really trust these fellows? Do you think we should be traveling with them? They seem a rough sort.
Does he trust
Oh,
me?
I don't-
Me for the whole day.
I don't trust any of them. Any further than I can throw them, but we have a need, and the need must be fulfilled, and these men can help me with what I need. So,
Very
for
good,
now,
sir.
we will put up with them.
You can count on me, sir.
Glad to hear it. Please make sure these gentlemen's new suits make it into the steamer and get them loaded for travel.
You know I will, sir. And if it's all right with you, I've taken the liberty of wiring ahead to a fabulous restaurant at our first stop, Les Années Fall, and I figured we could lunch there while we're waiting to meet with the train, with the Orient Express.
Excellent choice, Nigel. Thank you.
I think you'll find it to be most agreeable, sir.
Excellent.
Dude, this guy is totally the bad guy.
He probably is. He's gonna stab us all in our sleep.
We're gonna run into Fez dudes at the restaurant, and we're gonna be like, he's gonna be like, "How did this happen?" Fucking Nigel.
Daniel, what do you want to do with that ledger? In fact,
I didn't want to bring it out at this point.
Did you want to bring it to the professor with the letters and stuff from Puck?
That would make the most sense.
You could take a
I
look
could
at
have,
it.
I could have stopped there before or after the Taylor. I didn't know if we were gonna meet him again before we go on the train. I assume we would.
He's not going to necessarily see you off. He's already taken care of everything and. made sure
Then I
that-
probably would have given him the ledger before I met them with the Taylor, because once
Okay.
we meet up, I doubt we'll split up again.
Okay,
So I did give him that.
Yeah, you guys are running short on time. I am going to say this. He is able to read the ledger. And there is a thing with the ledger. I can never find Devore's house. I had the same problem last time.
You're looking for a horse house?
Yes. Here we go, Rutherheath. Okay. You do see the book, The Whispering Fez, which was part of a job lot from an auction house. It was valued at £25 for its antiquity and rarity. You do know that no fezzes were taken, only a book appears to be gone. So, I mean, obviously, he had the Whispering Fez, and it was stolen.
Mhm.
So,
Well, that ain't good.
yeah, does anyone need to have a little bit of a recap as to what's happened so that they can connect the dots a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's probably good. It's been a little bit of a while.
Yeah.
Hey Shane,
So
you want to
it's-
know what a great recap is?
What? If you say watching your videos, I'm gonna punch you.
Stop. Stop with the hard sell, Trevor.
And
I'll be right back, guys.
At this point,
Visit my channel at blah
yeah,
blah blah.
Yeah, in the next video, there's going to be like a huge like link right in the middle of the page.
Although I will say that I watched it last night, and it totally refreshed my memory.
Yeah, and I went through it like the last probably 40 minutes or so today, and it really helped me out a lot actually getting caught up.
So here's what happened over the past week. You had Mencalf, we know, arrived in London. This is now a known fact, as well as some flunkies of his. Demir sent his student to go follow him. His student was like, "These guys are dumb. I'm just gonna fast talk them, take the fez, and get out of here." He also knew that they were scoping out Devor's place, but he didn't know why. Now you know why. They were staking it out because they were stealing the book. The police assume that it was some kind of foreign affair because the guy was a Fez connector and they think he was an eccentric and a weirdo anyway and got what he had coming to him. Meanwhile, Puck totally fails to sneak into Mencalf's whatever headquarters, ends up somehow with the Fez on his head. You know the rest of the story.
Yep.
That pretty much covers the last week. It's been an eventful week in London.
Oh yeah.
And then we murdered Fez. Pooks, sorry. We murdered Pooks.
And then, yes, well, Pook ceased to be Pook
Yeah.
at one point and became this whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that you guys destroyed, but not
The
before you
Withering
killed
Man.
the Doctor. So, at this
Wither.
point, as far as we know, the body count is 3 for this week. So far, that are directly related to...
So- And only one of them caused by us.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're only responsible
Caused
for
by
1/3
me.
of the
I'm the
murdering.
only one who did any work in that fight.
No. I unloaded a shotgun into that thing at close range, if I
I
recall.
remember everyone else running away.
I came up the stairs and unloaded on it.
Yeah, and I kept shooting.
You would
I
know
think
if
I
you
even
watched the
hit one.
video.
I don't know.
Yeah, go watch Trevor's video. Link.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
I just
I-
remembered everyone squealing like girls because you were so keyed up from the last adventure that when the thing went down, you guys were like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah, fucking Trevor and
Yeah, I distinctly remember shouldering past Trevor as he was fleeing down the stairs and I was going up them.
I mean, he
Oh,
didn't
I
have
would
gun,
not
though, so, you know.
deny the fact that I ran. You're damn right I ran. A smart man without a gun would have.
Yeah.
damn right I ran.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
So is there anything else anyone needs to get done before you board the train?
All I can think of is already sent to, already send letters to, brother and sister. Might as well send one to my old flame.
I'm sorry, to who?
To my old flame.
Okay.
And,
Probably won't get there for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'll send one off to my family as well. My mother's still living in Portsmouth. I'm just going to let her know that I'm off to Constantinople. Should be back within a few months.
Oh, Edmund,
Ed-
where are you going off to?
What crazy adventures are you off to now?
I mean,
And-
I'm just gonna point out though, we're gonna be stepping at some point through Serbia. Like the Balkans have always been a very unstable area. Oh
Mm.
boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you know what's really funny is that in the main story, like in the books, it talks about a lot of the politics and how things can go wrong at the borders and stuff. It's fascinating stuff. It all depends on how deep the person who's running it.
Wants to get into it, yeah.
Yeah, but you could get totally immersed. I'm not that familiar with all the politics. That's why it's tougher for me. Because
I'll
there's
be
a
back.
lot.
2 seconds, I'm going to grab another drink.
Do it.
Well, I mean, the main reason why I'm like, oh boy, is because there's a reason why there's the word Balkanize.
Yeah.
There's a lot of build-up.
Well, plus during this time period where you have communists, that's a thing. You have red shirts running around. It's still kind of got that old school, right before World War One, where it still was very, conflicts were really bloody.
What's the year one more time?
1894.
98. Oh, 3?
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was 98.
93. All right. Thank
No,
you.
in 1898, it would actually be a very different a lot changes in the next few years in Europe
Oh yeah.
As far as build up,
as far as like going to Constantinople. It would be a totally different place in 5 years.
um, is Germany still under the control of Bismarck at this point?
I don't know the answer to that. I do know that Russia has a czar.
Yes, they
Mhm.
still are under the rule of the Tsar.
Not for long though.
No,
Not
and that
for very long.
I'm not going to say another word about it, but that might impact your world as well.
Oh boy.
That would be interesting for Vyacheslav. We'll just put it that way.
Vyacheslav has the potential to have a very interesting train ride.
Of course, none of that will happen within the next 10 years.
And of course, I don't know if that means I don't know if that's good or bad.
Bad. Most definitely bad.
But in my case, I'm lucky. Like, since Spain just basically sat out both world wars, like, I think that by this point, when did that happen between the United States and Spain happen?
The Spanish-American War was right around now, actually, I think.
Let's see,
I
it
thought it was in
started
the
on the
1890s.
You mean that war where we kicked your ass? Yeah,
18
that war?
1898.
1898.
Yep.
You mean that war where your media basically lied in order to
It really
cover-
was.
Yeah,
It was.
you're right.
It was definitely Teddy Roosevelt being
It's all about nationalism, my guy.
I
Hey,
mean,
did you
as far
hear
as I
that
know, like-
did you hear that the Spanish Navy replaced their ships? Yeah, they gave them all glass-bottom boats. You know why they did that? So they could see the rest of the Spanish Navy. Yeah.
You know, like
Oh, boy.
we definitely had to take that coup with you guys after from the British. We did the same to them in the Caribbean. Of course, you never will hear people talk about Blas de Lezo.
Where is the game?
Good
Here it is.
times.
Oh yeah.
So, are you guys ready to?
I'm ready to sit on a train for 4 hours. Yes.
After I get my
we gotta get
portable
on a boat
bath,
first.
yes, I'm ready to go.
We have to get on
Cool.
a
So,
tiny
what
boat,
station do
right?
you depart?
Yeah, I'm getting
from?
everything that's recommended as well.
Well, don't we have to take a boat to Calais first?
Well, we got to get to Dover. We got to go from London to Dover. Yeah.
Yeah,
to Calais.
Right.
But what I'm
London
seeing,
to
like, that-
Dover, and then the boat. I take it the train does not go over the English Channel,
It
does
does
it?
It goes
not.
under the English Channel.
It
Oh,
does
I mean,
not.
what I'm seeing though, like there is like a train connection between London and Dover. It's like I imagine the first step.
Yes.
Yes.
We need to
so
get to
the
Dover.
First,
And
The
I have
first-
reservations in Dover, so please, we need to make it there on time.
So the first leg
Also-
of your journey is to Dover. Then you take a steamer across the channel. You pick back up at Calais,
Mhm.
and then you proceed to Chalon-sur-Marne. From there, at Chalon-sur-Marne, you arrive at about 1 o'clock the next afternoon. You have 6 or 7 hours layover while you wait for the train, which leaves that night from Paris and picks you up
Mhm.
10 o'clock that evening at
Mhm.
Chalon-sur-Marne, and then you're on the Orient Express and on your way.
So we are currently at Chalon-sur-Marne.
No,
No.
we're at Dover.
no,
We're in London.
You're in
fucking
London. You guys haven't even got
Okay.
on the train yet.
I mean, considering that Edmund just went on his own to to like have his fancy dinner or lunch or whatever, I'm gonna invite Daniel and Vyacheslav to fish and chips.
What was that? I missed the end of that.
I'm gonna invite Vyacheslav and Daniel to to fish and chips.
So is there anything anyone needs to have dealt with before you get on the train?
Nope.
No, I just
don't
made
think
sure that
so.
all my messages got sent.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, cool.
I gave my last
So-
message personally.
Yeah, gave them you put your family on this brand new boat called the Titanic.
It's unsinkable.
That's
It's
that's
unsinkable.
1912, my friend.
So you guys board the train in London, and you then head out. And let's see where you're going to.
I will say I wouldn't be surprised if someone back in the day said that Titanic was
Okay,
Said it was
so
what?
the first.
sunk by the Germans. It was,
Oh.
the Teutonic terror back in those days, like it was real. They were like, the Germans, they come.
Well, the Lusitania was sunk by the Germans.
That Lusitania was bullshit, man. We were totally fucking sending arms to the Brit. They had total reason to sink that ship. Fucking American people were like, "Oh, I can't believe you did that." You know, you just have tanks and shit on it, right?
See, here's the thing, though. They lost the war, right? That's what matters. They lose the war, then that was a war crime. If they win the war, then that was necessary.
Right.
You know what they say, like in Call of Duty, history is written by the victors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might have said that before college.
Nope, it was from Call of Duty. Call
I'm
of
pretty
Duty
sure you're
invented
wrong.
that.
Yep. The game developers came up with that all on their own.
It
Oh,
had
yeah.
nothing to do with Shenzhou.
No.
So you depart from Victoria Station at 10 o'clock in the morning. It is a pleasant journey out of the city through the countrysides of Kent to Dover, where a steamer. Oh, right on cue.
Oh.
A steamer awaits to take you across the channel to Calais. I would assume, since this takes about 2 hours by train, that you take the opportunity to kind of catch each other up on what's happened.
Yeah, I don't think we've had that much time to discuss what everyone's kind of like discovered on their own, so maybe Vyacheslav and I can give them the rundown on
And vice versa.
Apocrypha, whatever that book is called, the Apocrypha of the Fez, and yeah.
Yep. And likewise, we can inform them of the movements that have been going on.
Yeah, it's pretty uneventful. The train itself is moderately crowded. You make your connection no problem. You arrive in Calais at 1:40 in the afternoon, and then there's a small stay before you connect to Chalon-sur-Marne, where you have some time before your 10:26 train, which departs for Constantinople. So, while you're in, crap, I already forgot the name, Chalon-sur-Marne, you go to this restaurant, which is Les Années Folles, because you're not going to wait in the train station. Nigel wouldn't hear of it at all.
Good man.
He'll gladly stay with the luggage while you guys have a proper meal. Because that is not going to happen on his watch. You don't wait in train stations.
Yep.
Let's see. I can show you the menu.
It's a menu.
Oh, fantastic. A little omelette au truffle, saumon mayonnaise, crepes à la Rossini,
Asperger à la crème.
chaud-froid de Canton, salade catalane.
So, how many of us took French in high school?
You don't have to take French to sound French.
Potage à la reine. Ah, fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm
so it's got
having
all
some,
these nice indulgences that you could eat while while you wait.
I'm gonna make sure that I keep these low enough so that only the group that I'm, like my fellow travelers, my fellow friends hear these. But once I get to the bottom of the page and I see Salad Catalan, Salvador is going to smirk and say, the French. As always, stealing meals just so that they can look good.
Does James go with you?
James Ambrose.
Yes.
Yes, he be accompanying us on this trip. He is
Who's
my
James Ambrose?
James Ambrose is my backup character, but he's also Edmund's sort of red right hand. He's his gentleman gangster, and is his acquisitions expert.
So there's a chance that actually Daniel probably would know.
I would think
James.
that he most likely would
Probably.
know him because they kind of run in the same circles. He's an ex-boxer, ex-locksmith hired out by my character, hired out by my character's father as a, to run the seedier side of the business, and has carried on doing the same for Edmund.
Mm-hmm.
He's much more of a single-serve businessman, while I am a
Exactly.
bountiful of plenties all around.
Hey, I'm going offline for just a second, saying goodnight to the little one.
Okay. Yeah, so
No problem.
he feels the exact opposite about you. He feels that like he has the good life because he has financial security and doesn't have to necessarily risk his neck every day, whereas you're still, scrapping along.
That's funny.
Everything on this menu looks absolutely hideous.
What?
Oh no.
The
Oh, no.
saumon mayonnaise is delicious, my friend.
You don't want
I was
some.
looking at that, I don't even try to pronounce that. Saddle of lamb.
Point to spare à la crème.
And in my case, I'm just gonna look at Vyacheslav and I'm going to say, well, my advice is go for the Catalan salad. Comes from my country, after all.
Vyacheslav,
Well, you absolutely must have the champagne when you're there because you're
Oui.
in Champagne.
Oui.
oh no, Vyacheslav, when they go to offer, or when they go to just pour the champagne,
Mhm.
Vyacheslav pulls a flask out from his jacket, tips, gives it a nod to the waiter and says, "No, thank you, I have my own." Takes a swig of it.
And you know,
friend,
like,
Mostly
You must
making
at
a-
least taste the plateau de fromage, a selection of 15 French cheeses.
I think I'll go with the Spaniard on this one. Give me the vegetables.
No, you gotta go with the crepes cooked with truffles and foie gras. Gotta get that stuffed duck liver.
There you go.
in my case, like to keep it polite and and civilized, but still, like throwing a small jab, I will ask the I will ask when they are about to pour me champagne if they wouldn't have cava, which is basically Catalan wine that is basically champagne before the French stole it. Just politely asking, if they mayhaps had it, since I noticed rather intriguing lack.
So, of course we have it. We have everything.
Much appreciated, sir. Because
It
like
would be-
I'm definitely noticing a trend here. Like they have instances of French, Rhine, Moselle, Hungarian, and Portuguese wines, but I don't see anything about Spanish.
Well,
They keep
you
it in the
guys
back.
aren't on the Orient Express line. What do you expect?
I mean, see, here's the thing. Like for all the
You
claiming
plop
that they-
Spain down right between Austria and Hungary, they would probably have Spanish wines.
See, I will only make an exception. Well, I would only make an exception if we were passing Italy, in which case I would definitely go for an Italian rosé. But until then, that's one thing that I have to give you context, guys. Like, long story short, while it is true that Spaniards and English usually had, a bit of a animosity and rivalry, we always band together to bang on the French, and then everyone else in Europe joins us to bang on the French.
Good night.
No matter who you are or where you're from, everybody hates the French.
But the French.
Hello,
at least they're
French
good
viewers.
sport. At least
It's
they're
like-
good sport about it. Like like it's kind of like they enjoy it.
It's like the New Jersey of Europe.
Good way to put
Not
it.
inaccurate.
I was gonna
So-
say Florida. Like Florida man does this,
I
French
think-
man does that.
I think Jersey
Oh,
gets
no.
way more hate than Florida.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Nah, Florida would be Eastern Europe. 'Cause,
So is
all the
this
stories about
a-
Florida man.
Florida is like Russia, man. Like man
No,
fights
no, no,
bear
no,
as
no.
soon as he gets out of his truck.
Florida is like
That
Poland.
is true.
So Ben,
Except it's
is,
usually
is
gators.
this cabin smokable? Are you allowed to smoke in this cabin?
You can go in the smoking cabin.
I mean, as far as I know,
I
they
would
can have
assume that there would be
laws now.
smoking everywhere at this point.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, there's a salon on the train. You mean?
Well, I meant just wherever we're at currently in the train.
Well, you're at the restaurant.
Right,
now.
the train.
Would they still allow smoking at the restaurant?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a gentlemanly pursuit.
Right. So while they're actually at the table, supposed to be eating, I mean, Vyacheslav would pick at the salad. He pulls out his pipe, just a standard wooden pipe, and lights it up and pulls out his copy of Marx and is just reading at the table, puffing away.
I mean, the main question is the book like clearly labeled as the
Well, it's going to be written in Russian, so
yeah, it would be in Cyrillic, Russian Cyrillic alphabet. Yeah. So unless you know how to read that,
I picture it having like a cloth, like dark gray cover with a red star.
Well, the red star wouldn't even have been a thing yet.
Yeah.
So it's literally just the title. But yeah, definitely, cloth cover.
Honestly, I'm gonna ask him about the book. What is this book you read about?
I don't think you would like it much, friend.
Try me.
He just kind of gives a chuckle. Says,
And
have you ever heard of a man named Marx?
I have heard of him. He's an interesting theory. Fear they might be a tad too idealistic.
Well, idealistic or not, it is, in my opinion, much better than things are now. But it is politics. We are at dinner. I am simply reading to pass the time, so I don't have to listen to a bunch of rich bastards, blow air up each other's assholes.
Yeah, it takes
You
like
and I will
4 hours to eat this meal.
You and I will get along, my Russian friend.
He kind of he raises an eyebrow and smirks a little bit and says, "We will see."
And he returns the smirk as well. Like, he seems to be actually genuine, he definitely doesn't seem to be implied threats or anything like that. He seems genuinely interested.
Well, and Vyacheslav hasn't really had a chance to see Salvador throw his money around or not, or throw his money around yet. So, he's just making simple judgments on face value, because I don't think Vyacheslav and Salvador have even really interacted yet. That would have been the first one.
No, not really. I mean, they have met each other only in passing at meetings, really. You have not traveled together or spent any real time together.
And we've only known each other for a week.
At most.
Yeah, not even. It's only been 2 days.
Vyacheslav would actually close the book, pull out the other book, because I don't think we ever really had a chance to talk about it, and says, so I suppose, and I guess dinner would be wrapping up at this point. And,
what are the coffee?
He would, when they bring around the coffee, Vyacheslav would, pull out the Apocrypha of the Fez and say, perhaps it's time to discuss a little, of our business. Puts the book down on the table and slides it over to Edmund.
Alright, so Edmund kind of cracks it open and maybe starts reading some of the passages that we discovered.
So if anybody wants to kind of refresh their memory.
Yeah. So obviously, whatever happened to Pooks was caused by this Fez, which, from the sound of it, he attempted to seize from these nefarious folks and was either, my guess, captured or taken prisoner somehow, and then had the artifact forced on his head. I think we need to be very, very careful with the Fez.
But why would they go through trouble to get that artifact, and then they would just put it in someone's head as some form of cruel punishment? Wouldn't it defeat the purpose of trying to keep it?
Well, the Fez it's said of the Fez that drinking, bathing in, or simply spilling the blood of a prince while wearing the Fez is said to bring some princely favors. We do not know much about Pooks or his family. Maybe there's some sort of connection there that we've overlooked.
I don't know. I have seen his flat, and he did not look to come from a wealthy family at all.
Well, many times students will eschew the family wealth. They find their own identity.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking
Or
of
be
which,
quietly sent away.
which one of you is going to be holding on to the Fez?
Fuck that.
Well, it probably should be Daniel, to be completely honest.
What?
Well, first of all, you're good at stealing things, which also means you're good at hiding things.
True.
This one is in a striped hat box.
And plus, you know, we all are aware by now that we definitely shouldn't like touch it directly.
Yes, I think it needs to be kept in the box at all times, not
Yes.
opened and secured.
Agreed.
So which one of you is going to keep it?
I'll take it. If I turn into a zombie thing, I'm gonna eat you first, Trevor.
Don't put it on your head, man. And don't listen to its whispers.
Now, there is one thing that I have to say.
You have to say it.
Well, considering where we're at, something tells me there's not going to be a shortage of princes or other equally important people.
I would agree with this. I mean, we are meeting the Baron, the Austrian Baron von Hoffler, along our trip here, I believe in Vienna.
Yes, and that's just one of many personages that we meet. This is only the French were fairly thorough on shaving the upper classes, if you will. Everywhere else, many still remain.
What is this milk?
It's creepy.
Which in short means that once we cross the frontier, we should have to keep our eyes peeled.
We should, and we should also be wary of any of Mencalf's followers as well. As they will most likely be looking for the Fez, I would think, since they most likely already have the book, The Whispering Fez, in their grasp.
And not just that, according to Puck's journal, they were to head into the Orient Express. While he did not say the specific date, while I do not like to believe in coincidences, it may well be that we are sharing train with them.
It is entirely possible. We must be on our guard at all times.
Nah, we won't be.
Nah, it's going to be quiet and uneventful all the way to Constantinople. Catch up on our rest.
4 days of luxury living.
Vyacheslav would be the first to stand up and say, well, gentlemen, it has been I won't say nice, but it has been an evening, for sure. And kind of looks at all of you and gives you a nod, and he specifically kind of, he shakes Edmund's hand and Salvador's hand, because Salvador kind of like showed a particular interest that Vyacheslav appreciated, and gives like a nod to Daniel across the table, and I would say, on that note, I've had a very rough week, as I'm sure the rest of you have had as well. I'm off to sleep.
Sleep well, my friend. Make sure you check in with Nigel in the morning. He'll make sure you're suited as far as your attire.
Well, I don't know where you're going to sleep. You haven't even met back up with the train yet.
Ah, that's correct.
Ah, that's true. We're still at the
You're
restaurant.
at the restaurant, which is like miles away from the train station. You gotta take it.
Well, how did we even get to the restaurant?
Yep, you took a cab from the train station.
But we'll have to head all together then. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
why don't we all head back together then?
Yeah, I mean, it's
probably best. I don't think we should be wandering off in ones and twos unless we must.
It took like 4 hours to eat this meal.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
we've probably been talking and like getting to know each other a little bit better, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
As
Yeah.
well as
Drinking.
discussing the drinking, discussing the task at hand here.
So you return back, let's say you're back by 8:30, 9 o'clock. You have another hour or so to pass before the train pulls into the station. And then there it is. You see the train cars come in. It's the Orient Express. It is as opulent as you would imagine. It takes no time for the porters to let you on board. In fact, they bring you directly onto your car, to the sleeping car. So the way the train is arranged is thusly. Hold please.
So is the train nice and pretty and blue like in all the pictures?
Oh yeah, yep, with lots of gold
Oh boy.
leaf and brass fittings, crystal. It is really like spectacular.
As it rolls up, Vyacheslav would look at it and say to the rest of the group, "What a magnificent, beautiful piece of human engineering. Is it not?"
Yeah, I mean it looks like something that royalty would. It's like artwork on wheels.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Indeed.
Okay, so the order of the cars is, and I shall reveal them as we go. Hang on, do this. Okay, groovy. So first up is the locomotive car.
Ooh.
The second car is the first Fergon, or luggage car. The third car is going to be what is known as sleeping car number 1.
I like the reserve linen closet.
Oh, dude, the little notes are hysterical that are written on there. So,
Harpsichord.
you're in sleeping car number 1. Now, here's the deal. There's a second sleeping car.
Broom closet, no, you won't fit.
Harpsichord.
So, for anyone that's basically traveling through to Constantinople, you guys are getting onto sleeping car number 1. Everyone who's getting off earlier goes into sleeping car number 2. So you're not the only ones getting into sleeping car number 1, as it would turn out. Then after sleeping car number 2 is the smoking and salon car. So that is your salon car. Then is the dining car.
These maps are awesome.
Yeah, and so there you go. That's the
cathedral car? Jesus.
Yeah, it's not an actual cathedral. That's just the name for like the smoking room.
Where, of course, you need a smoking jacket.
Oh, of course, yeah. So as you are brought onto the train, you are met by the conductor of the train. I shall describe him because he is quite a colorful character.
Oh boy.
Sorry, once again, there's a lot of jumping around in this book. Okay, Henri Peters, the conductor. He is a Belgian man. He's rail thin, dark haired. He has impeccable uniform. He's very friendly, and he just kind of very adeptly greets people and shows them where their sleeping cars are. So basically, you have 3 cars that are available to you. One car is going to be Nigel and Andrew, obviously, because they are servants. And then you guys can split up how you want to, who you want to room with.
So, for instance, like in one of the double berths, I could have Nigel and James.
They'll be in
the
one.
bunker room.
Yes,
Mhm.
and
And then Edmund in the other, the single. Oh, I guess they're both bunks. It's just the.
yeah, you guys are all going to be in doubles.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Vyacheslav would say to Salvador, perhaps we could discuss marks together in a room.
Mm-hmm. I see no problem with it.
So basically, the way that it goes is there are 2 benches in each train car, and they convert into beds at night.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that Vyacheslav will definitely have noticed by now is that while Salvador definitely, like, for the most part behaves with, like, I guess with the ease of someone born in the nobility,
Mm-hmm.
he, like, has absolutely no trace of the usual, the usual attitude of looking people down for birth or anything like that.
Yeah, he's not
He
dismissive
seems
of.
to be surprisingly, without that kind of
Right.
attitude. He
He's
doesn't seem
not
to,
dismissive of the normies.
Well then, Daniel, why don't you join me? I'm sure we can find suitable accommodations.
Oh boy.
Yes, I'm
could've
quite
had-
sure.
Henri is here. How may I help you?
Henri, my good man, we have tickets. We are on our way to Constantinople and need rooms.
Of course, bien sûr, just follow me. I'm sure that you've had a dreadful journey, but take care that
Yeah.
from now on, it will be much more pleasant.
Very good, very good.
I
I look
trust
forward
you
to
have,
the famed service.
I trust you had a pleasant lunch today.
Mm-hmm.
We did, most agreeable.
That is fantastic. I'm sure wherever you ate cannot compare to the chef we have on train.
Well, I look forward to tasting his dishes.
So you guys file into your rooms. Your luggage is stowed away in the luggage compartments and all that kind of jazz. And Henri says, I realize you probably all want to rest and relax. You can feel free to come aboard to the dining car if you'd like to, or the salon if you'd like to relax and have a drink. But before anything, I need to get a hold of your papers, please.
Mm-hmm.
Papers,
well.
please.
And I had my papers, no problem.
Yeah, we'll present him with our papers.
Yeah, he's doing that with everyone. Takes all of them, hands them off to a porter. Because then it goes into a safe on board the train to make sure that you guys don't get disturbed, during your journey.
Yeah.
And then the train starts rolling. Great. And you guys are now on your way. So it is, what time is it? 10. What time does the train pick up in? It's 10 something in the evening. So you can rest in your compartments, or you can head to the dining car if you would prefer.
I believe at this point, Vyacheslav would be going to sleep.
Edmund is going to the salon for a nightcap.
I think that for the time being, Salvador is also good. After this last week.
Join me, my good man. Let's go have a drink. Daniel, come with us.
I could enjoy a nice wine or champagne, though a whiskey is much more nice sounding at the moment.
I'm sure they will have whatever your tastes are here.
Or is it brandy?
We are in good hands.
Can't remember.
Well, in England, I don't. Would it even be called whiskey?
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't remember if it was brandy or if it was.
Well, it wouldn't be brandy. Brandy is something entirely different.
Well, I know, not the name. I was trying to think of the
Maybe
Give me
scotch.
just one moment. I will
Or
Google it
bourbon.
up.
You'd be drinking
Bourbon,
scotch.
that's what I was thinking of. That's
Bourbon.
what I was thinking of.
James is going to go with you as well to make sure that everything's on the up and up.
Good man.
So
Nigel
again, I'm
said-
getting kind of roped to go there.
Nigel
Yep,
says,
you don't get a choice.
if you don't mind, sir, I think I'll turn in for the night as well.
Yes, please do. I'll take care of myself this evening. Appreciate
Very good, sir.
all of your help.
I'll make sure that your suit is ready first thing in the morning.
Thank you, my good man.
May I ask you just one question, sir?
Yes, Nigel.
Who's going to be valeting for your friends?
Well, my friends will see to themselves. Just make sure that their suits are at least available.
He kind of the look on his face is like, oh man,
I knew this was gonna happen.
it's riffraff. They don't even have their own valets. Very good, sir. I'd better make sure I get an extra deep sleep then this evening.
Yes, please do, Nigel. Please, I'll make sure that you're well compensated for the work you do here. I know it's an extra bit for you, taking care of all these folks.
The true bro,
Yeah,
man.
Vyacheslav would actually, I mean, even though he says he's going to sleep, what he would actually be doing is going and sifting through his father's notebook and reading the stuff about the Fez and also reading old notes from his father's, his father's notes.
Okay, cool. So we'll say that the car is quiet. I mean, it's late at night and everyone's already had a long day. They've been traveling from Paris. At about 11 o'clock, you do hear a cabin door open, and then you hear footsteps, and then you hear another cabin door close.
Who does?
This is Vyacheslav?
Vyacheslav, yeah.
So I hear a cabin door open, but then I hear a different one close.
That is correct.
The initial one never closed?
Yeah, it sounds like someone left their cabin and went into a different cabin or moved to a different cabin.
It's none of my business. Probably someone trying to have sex with someone else. It's
Yeah.
not uncommon. But what he would do would be he'd he'd shift the cabin door just open enough to where he could see if it was like someone who came out of like Edmund's cabin or yeah, that's what I would do. Is just make sure that it wasn't someone who left Edmund's cabin or
Right.
Or went into Edmund's cabin.
Edmund's cabin.
Yeah, so you can't tell by looking outside. Whoever it was came and went pretty quick.
Just out of all right, so just out of curiosity, Vyacheslav kind of he tucks his Bowie knife into the back of his pants, takes a small swig of vodka and says, "Oh, for Christ's sake!" And he opens up the cabin door and says, "All right," and he just kind of gives a very light knock on Edmund's door.
Yeah, there's no answer.
Well, I don't want to look suspicious by like peeking it open and looking in. So I would just knock a little bit louder.
There's still no answer. He must still be in the salon.
Well, that is no good. I would actually make my way over to the salon to
Okay.
kind of say to Edna, I don't know what's going on, but either I feel like someone went either into your cabin or left your cabin, and considering you and Daniel should be the only one in your cabin, I think someone may have gone in.
Okay, so before you can get to that, you have to walk through several train cars. So we'll cut to the others who are 30 minutes ahead of your timeline. So you guys make your way back to the salon car, and you walk in. There are several people inside. Around one table are 3 Russian men, talking amiably. One of them appears to be kind of like the main guy, older gentleman. The other 2 are younger. Remarkably, though, they're not speaking in Russian, but they're speaking in French. There is a woman.
How do they know they're Russian then?
Because one of them has a Russian tattoo on his arm.
Okay. I was just curious. I was like, wait a minute.
He has his jacket like slung over the chair behind him, and he has his sleeves rolled up, and he has a Russian bear tattoo on one of his forearms.
Do they have big beards too?
Yes, they're clearly Russian, but
and they're wearing those striped shirts.
The little blue navy, the Russian navy shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
You see this woman,
Eileen McGregor,
who is sitting at a table by herself. She has a small cordial of something and a pile of books and papers, and she's just kind of like sifting through them, reading to herself. And to your surprise, you see Bentley Burnham at a table, deep in conversation.
Oh, this guy.
With this man.
What? Metcalf.
But we don't know that's Mencalf.
It says Mencalf above the portrait.
And below it when you zoom in.
So when you come on board, Mencalf looks up and he's facing you as you walk into the car. He kind of just goes back to his conversation, and then Burnham turns around, but when he sees Daniel, he does like a total, and Salvador like a total spit take, like oh boy, kind of sinks down in his chair a little bit. You do notice that there is someone else also in the train car that is standing kind of in the doorway between that train car and the next one. He's just standing there, seems to be pretty much at ease, but he looks like a rather large and intimidating man. And there is a third man as well at the table with Metcalf and Bentley.
I kind of lean in towards Edmund and I'm like, if that's who I think it is, we might want to get a table a little closer.
Good idea, man. I'll follow you.
So I kind of like so I don't know if they assign tables or how it works in the dining car, but
at this time of night, nothing. When it's a formal meal, then it's kind of like first come, first serve, and they will try and accommodate you, but you might end up sitting with a different passenger.
All right, I say, Daniel, find us a seat nearby, and I'll secure us some drinks.
So I found somewhere just close enough that my specially attuned senses could listen in on their conversation.
Your elfin awareness.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So as you can see,
Breaking my immersion.
The way the cars are lined up at this time of night, it's just rows with tables. When they have other meals, they can try and rearrange the tables. Now, one interesting thing about the Orient Express is that the furniture is not attached. It is totally configurable to whatever the guests want, pretty much. So I would say if you're looking at the dining car, you guys came in through the right side, because that's towards the front of the car, and front of the train rather. And the Russian men are like the second table where that stain is on the left. The woman is sitting kind of in the middle on herself. She has stuff just strewn across her whole table. And Mencalf is in like that bottom left.
Near the linen cupboard?
No, not that far back, because see there's a door?
Yep.
Right there, so that door is closed.
Okay.
It's just to show you that the door opens.
Yep.
So he's facing you guys. Bentley's back, Burnham's back is to you. There's a third gentleman sitting at the table, and then there's that big tall guy standing in that doorway. Sorry.
Well, what do you guys want to do? I mean, what's the plan of attack here? We could kind of split up and try and
Wait,
hit up
plan
a couple.
attack? Who's
Yeah,
attacking?
yeah. No, I'm not actual attack, but here's what I'm thinking. Daniel, you maybe make a move on Bentley, engage him or sit near him. I might try and listen in on the 3 Russians who are speaking French, as I'm quite fluent in that.
So I am the one left to deal with Mrs. McGregor. I take it.
If you choose to go speak with, yes, or you could back
It's gonna
Daniel
look
up.
strange if we all sit in different tables.
Yeah, I mean,
You
we did
walk
that
in together and you go sit in different places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like as I said, say for the time being, you know, like we stay together, you know, like in a table, like at a close enough distance, you know, like just play on the fact that as of now we're not yet like, you know, like super friends forever, but you know, rather, you know, acquaintances that are happening to travel together. And then from there we'll see like where the night takes us and whether, you know, we get to interact with the other patrons or just eavesdrop as we pretend that, you know, we're just, you know, just doing our thing.
Well, James says something to the effect of, well, 5 is a crowd, and it is my job, so I'll take one for the team. So he goes over and talks to Miss McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't
Take
quite hear
one for the team, right? He's trying to get laid.
You can't
Yeah.
quite hear what he says, but after a moment she motions, he sits down across from her and they start talking about something. You can make out a little bit what they're talking about, something to do with Armenians.
Oh boy.
Well, I'll go secure us some drinks. I'll get us a couple drinks. Daniel, you get us a table.
So you have the table that is across from the Russians is open.
I think so.
And then there's a table across from Metcalf that's open.
We'll choose the one across from the Russians.
Okay. So you sit down after a few minutes. Bentley gets up and he kind of walks over to your table and nods and says, surprised to meet you here. Daniel?
I look at him and I go, yes, quite surprised. And I kind of like glance over his shoulder noticeably that he could see that I'm looking. And I'm like, friends of yours?
Business acquaintance. He kind of pulls out his press badge again and says something along the lines of, hang on one second, I'll tell you exactly what he says because it's in the book.
Oh boy.
Where is Bentley hiding? Hang on, I'm going through all of the NPCs here. Here we go. He's like, I'm actually getting off at the next stop in the morning at Stuttgart. Cover a story about the German Empire conducting espionage against Great Britain. And he like shows his credentials like, they actually are real.
Yeah.
Even though you guys, you know that he's a charlatan.
Yeah, I'm kind of just glaring at him. I'm like, yes, I'm sure. And I ask where his friends are heading. Oh yeah, you're going there? Where are your friends getting off?
They're in the same sleeping car as you, Daniel. So I guess they're pressing on all the way to the end of the line. And when he says it, there's a strange edge of malice to his voice that you didn't think he was capable of. And in that moment, you realize that this is a guy that definitely doesn't like confrontation, but if pushed to it, he would murder someone, probably.
Oh boy.
And with that, he leaves the car.
Is Edmund back?
Mm-hmm.
Like, has he returned from getting the drinks?
Yes, I come back
At
with
that
an
point,
armful
yes,
of drinks.
you return from the ice box, as it were.
Several bottles of wine in tow.
I kind of lean forward after I take the drinks, and I'm like, our friends back there must be the ones who took care of our good friend Podrick.
Who?
Pook, that's what I meant, sorry.
Puck.
I watched too much Game of Thrones, I apologize.
It's fine.
My wife and I are about to start season 7 again, so we can get all caught up before the new season starts.
Sorry.
Podrick, that's funny.
It's very close, shut up!
Yeah.
Of course.
Podrick, Pook.
That's it, I'm leaving.
Same first letter. And all. Bye.
Yeah. It's an honest mistake, Sam. Anyone can make it.
Yeah.
He actually left.
Welcome back.
It has less dramatic effect since we're in Discord.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're such a badass, Shane. All right. So, Edmund says, so you believe this to be the man that maybe was backing, oh God, what the hell's his name? Bernie, is it Bernie? Yeah. Backing Bernie in his illegal entry to Pook's residence?
I'm quite sure now.
Someone give me a spot hidden roll.
Oh boy.
Dipped. Boom. Boom.
Come on now, eventually we'll pass one.
Gotta open
I
up
am-
my character sheet again.
Way too enthralled by my
Oh, shit.
fine wine.
Should someone
Yes.
push it?
Yeah, I can push it.
How are you pushing this roll?
Well, what do we look? Well, I don't. It's hard to say because we don't know what we're trying to spot hidden for.
I'm going to say that, well, clearly there's some kind of connection between Mencalf and
Bernie.
Well, perhaps
Bentley.
because of that menacing sound, you're now or the menacing sound in his voice, you're now like extra alert.
But you did notice they were definitely in deep conversation, so you're kind of like trying to see maybe what it was they were discussing.
Yeah, I was like trying to read his lips and glancing over every once in a while, but I was trying to be really subtle about it. And
Maybe you're just straight up like staring at him,
Yeah, 'cause
like giving him the
faced
stink
you.
eye.
Yeah.
oh shit!
Yeah, so
Even
you
worse.
unfortunately don't notice anything additional. After a few minutes, Mencalf gets up and walks out. He definitely is staring you guys down, but he doesn't seem too concerned about it at all. And his two associates leave with him.
Do you think we should follow him? At least see where his room is?
Well, if our very untrustworthy blackmailer was to be believed, his sleeping car is the same as ours, which might lead trouble for our friend who is stuck back there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I should go back to the Atlas.
That might be a good idea, Salvador.
Very well.
Let's finish our drinks first, though.
Cheers, my good man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's finish our drinks first.
And like I will just grab the drink, cheers, and just down it in one go.
So at this point, much to your surprise, Vyacheslav enters the train car.
Now, would I have seen them walking past me?
You definitely would have passed them.
But I have never met either of them.
It would make never mind to you. However, when they walk past, you definitely notice that this guy's wearing a blood red fez on his head.
Oh boy.
Like, as he walks past, like, Vyacheslav, like, looks back over his shoulder, like, as he's walking, and just kind of keeps a firmer, or, like, keeps his hand a little bit closer to his Bowie knife, and keeps moving. And so I end up in the train car with the other three.
Mm-hmm.
And Edmund stands up when he sees Vyacheslav and says, "My friend, come join us. We have drinks."
No, thank you. I have drinks of my own. Good evening, gentlemen. So, Mr. Gore, I believe you and I need to talk for a moment, Edmund.
Yes. Let's step aside here. Can I help you with, my friend?
Well, I'm just a little concerned that maybe someone has entered your room.
Like, I immediately snapped to him. What do you mean?
Well, I heard the sound of a door shut and the sound of a door open, but I never caught sight of who it was or what room they went into. I gave your room a little knock, but no response came. So, well, I thought it might be best to come and alert you instead of looking suspicious and barging into your cabin.
Well, I appreciate the heads up, my friend.
Perhaps we should go quickly.
Yes,
since
most
the Fez
untoward.
is most likely unattended.
Yes.
Wait, we should maybe wait like 5 minutes, otherwise it will be rather obvious that we are following that man.
I agree.
But if
with,
there's someone going through our
some-
stuff, we can't really wait. So I'm gonna get up and get going.
Ben, would I notice the Russian gentleman with his
Yes, I was just gonna get to that. So, you notice immediately that they're Russians speaking in French, and you do know that for Russian aristocracy, it was very common for them to speak French more often than Russian during this time period.
Well, considering I don't really know French, I would move a little bit closer to them, and I would actually, put my hand up in a wave gesture and Здравствуйте, and just kind of, which is hello, and just kind of like start speaking to them, just be like Здравствуйте, like I see you're from Russia, it's like I appreciate your tattoo. It is good artwork.
So you recognize this man.
Oh.
He is famous Russian. Where the heck is his name?
I hope he doesn't recognize me from.
Oh, they
being
definitely
kicked out
he
of
definitely
Russia.
recognizes you as well.
That's-
So his name, here we go.
Well, if I recognize him, would I say hello to him?
Well, that's what I'm going to say. Let me introduce who they are.
Okay.
So you recognize him as Count Rudolf Razumovsky. He's a Russian noble. He's an autocrat. And he is very well known in Russia.
Now, would I have known if they were either fans of my father and I, or enemies of my father and I?
Well, he is...
I mean, my father, I imagine, would have been well respected until he went nuts. Me, on the other hand, trying to, bolster a revolt, probably not the most.
Yeah, he's definitely not pro-communist.
Okay.
He's wealthy and he wants to keep it.
Okay. And he definitely wouldn't recognize me with my beard gone, right?
Maybe not. No.
Okay, I
This
would.
is definitely good.
Like, when I catch eyesight of him, like, my eyes go a little bit wide, and I turn around and I say, perhaps instead of sticking around for 5 minutes, gentlemen, I think we should leave now.
Very well.
Now, would this gentleman have had anything to do with my, what do we call it? Exile from Russia?
Probably not directly, no.
But he would have totally supported it.
Absolutely.
And
And if
would
he
not be
knows
thrilled
that
to
it's
see me
you
on the
that's
train.
on the train, there's no saying that he wouldn't take advantage of the opportunity to finish the job either.
Right. So I'm just kind of look at them and like, all right, we need to leave the car now.
Very well. I assume that you're.
Let's just say that the gentlemen back there who are speaking French, they don't like me very much. We can go about why they don't like me later. Let's just get up.
Very well.
I've already gotten up at this point. I'm more concerned about the Fez being alone with the car. Someone's in my cabin, and I leave.
Yeah, and I'm going with Daniel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess since since Salvador, he stands up like last and just I guess tips his hat, like as in wordless, saying like good night to everyone. He follows in at a much more leisurely pace, smoking a cigarette, hands on his pockets.
Vyacheslav's hand is even closer to his bone knife than it was before.
So let's see. It is like I'd say 11:45 p.m. right now.
Mm-hmm.
And does that mean anything? Gotta look at day 1 here.
I like the train noises. That's great.
Oh yeah, there's a great Foley website that I like a lot.
Yeah.
They're really high quality Foley effects.
Oh, you're gonna have to send me that.
See, you said something about Russians, and I got all excited.
I just said you'd find it interesting.
You said I was gonna have an interesting train ride.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You weren't exaggerating.
Turns out I'm gonna have to stay in my cabin much more than I thought.
Well, it's about to get a lot more interesting, I'm afraid.
Oh.
Oh boy.
It's about to become the murder on the Orient Express.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Let's just hope the Poirot isn't on the train.
Or it's about to be the Russian gets kicked off the Orient Express.
Hang on one
Or
second.
maybe it's going to be the Orient Express becomes the first international war zone. The first international traveling war zone at that.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we don't kickstart World War One ahead of time.
We don't somehow
Let's leave that
assassinate
to the
Archduke
Soviet.
Ferdinand, who happens to be on this train or whatever. And instead of it being Serbia, it's a Russian who shot him with a pistol on accident, and that all sparks a war. And
Oh boy.
Hang on one second. Great. Okay,
hey, I
awesome.
can see Jason.
So, you have to travel through another car before you get to the sleeping cars. So when you leave the dining car and you enter the salon car, for some reason the lights are either all off or most of them have been dimmed. And what is your order? What is your walking order? Who's up front?
I'm in first because I'm the most concerned about getting back to our room to check.
And I'm in second since I've got the key to the room.
You see a shadowed shape moving in like a corner of the room.
As we're approaching our room, you mean? Or as we're looking in the room?
Well, you haven't even gotten there yet. You're just
We're in the salon car.
You're in the salon car, and you can see
Lordy.
this large, shadowy shape, kind of moving up in the background.
Oh no.
It's pacing through the car.
Oh boy. And there's no one else in the salon car?
Nope.
And it's the three of us, is that right?
I would be last, but like I'm still following behind you guys. So I would be in the room as well, just that I would be at the back. You know what?
Is it just like pacing around, or is it walking towards us?
It's clinging to the shadowy area in the center of the car.
Can I find some light switch to turn on?
There are no light switches. It's 1895.
Well, the dimming or something. I don't know. Fuck.
Look, don't worry about it. You know what I'm gonna do? You said that the lights are dim.
Do not
right?
say you're lighting something on fire.
I mean, I wasn't gonna light something on fire yet. I mean,
before you even leave the first train stop, you're already burning the train to the ground.
Save that for the finale.
Like I'm just gonna, I guess experiment a bit. There's nothing that could easily catch on fire on the floor, right?
Oh my God, Nil.
I'm asking to avoid the fire. Goddamn.
Okay. So, I mean, when we look at this thing, I'm just gonna run roughshod over you. when we look at this thing, does it look like a person or does it look like something not like human?
Well, the first thing I need for you all to do is make a sanity check.
Oh, of course.
Of course
Oh
you do.
boy. Okay.
Ugh. Ah,
Nope.
man, we
Nice.
suck today.
Did
Yeah.
you all fail?
Yeah, we all did.
Oh, I passed. Hooray, fuck you.
Daniel passed.
Okay, so if
Oh.
you passed, you lose 1 sanity. If you failed, you lost 3.
Oof.
Hmm.
Oof.
Oof.
And we haven't regained any sanity in these past days.
No, it would take
Yeah, it takes
a
much
lot
longer
more
than that.
than yeah. Let's
boy.
recap. You've been followed. You've been carrying the fez around with you. I would say you have not had an opportunity to recover any sanity.
Well, with this failure on the sanity roll, at the sight of this thing, Vyacheslav says, "Alright, that's fucking it." And he pulls out his Bowie knife and he just like has it like gripped in his hand. He's not like gonna go after it, but he's like now he's brandishing his weapon now.
And I think Edmund, seeing that, does the same as well with his sword cane. He whips it from its sheath and just stands his ground.
So if you look in the middle of the salon car, you see how it has like that U-shaped bar.
Mm.
That's where this creature is. You guys are in the far left side, right there at the door. How do you make the marker again? Up here?
Oh, just hold down on one spot.
So you guys are there.
Yeah.
And the creature's there.
And like, look, like we can even do.
So
like,
we're over here.
like
It's
this.
here.
Yes.
Oh boy, tokens are not made to scale at all.
You said it's all shadowy, right?
Yes.
Are there any light sources in the room, like a candle or anything?
Yes, there is a light source in the wall right there.
Is it like an oil lamp or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it,
it's a gas lamp attached to the wall. Its light is really feeble, but you can clearly see this thing is huge and it's just like stalking in the shadow.
Well, like at this point, I think I'm on one hand my knife, and on the other hand, like my lighter to illuminate, not burn anything.
I look around and I see if there's any linen cloths or anything around me.
Not really. I think everything's been stowed away. And that one closet that's right there just has glassware. I'd say, yeah, there's napkins in there. I would say there's napery in there, embroidered linen.
Embroidered linen. All right, I'm gonna take the embroidered linen. I'm gonna wrap my knife in it, and then I'm gonna try and set it on fire using the gas lantern.
Okay, yeah, it burns.
For what?
There are no fire alarms yet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's going to be awfully expensive to replace that nice tablecloth.
Well, fuck them. They won't know. We're fighting a giant smoke thing.
And to be fair, we're riding on a train that has fucking golden filigree, so...
Yeah.
Has this thing seen us?
It sees you, and it's like just stalking, waiting.
So my knife, and then I light my knife on fire, and I kind of hold it up towards it, and I kind of like slowly creep towards it.
Yeah,
I'm still determined to get to my room.
Okay.
Yeah, let's move up to like where this chair is here and peer between these bars.
So as you move closer to it, it lets out like some kind of strange hissing sound, and all the lamps go out. So now the only light you have is from your little makeshift torch thing.
What about my lighter?
You hear
and your lighter, and you can't see where this thing went to.
You would hear Vyacheslav start to pray in Arabic, because what you guys don't know Vyacheslav is Muslim.
Now, do any of you have
A Russian Muslim communist? That
Oh,
doesn't even
very-
make sense.
Russian Muslims are very common, friend.
During the communist period, and you're a communist.
Well, you have to remember, my mother was Egyptian.
Well,
Father was Russian.
Yeah, but you're a communist. In communism, there's no religion.
depends on the current.
It also depends on the communist, because Tolstoy. No, it was Yeah, no, it was Tolstoy.
Having said that, and
But you have a
talking
Marxist book in your hand. What are you doing?
from- But no, see, here's the thing. Like, the best way to define it is Marx himself wasn't so much against religion as he was against the church.
Mm.
Now, of course, you've got other currents, which, Salvador is actually going to espouse because, like, I mean, as is, like, Spain is pretty close to, Morocco, so he definitely would be somewhat familiar with, like, those prayings, and he's just going to mutter.
Alright. So,
Praying is not going to help us here.
Daniel's going to curse under his breath, and he proceeds to hold the torch out a little bit farther out in front of him.
do any of you have a dex higher than 95?
No.
Fuck no.
Not even
Okay, so, and Daniel and Salvador have light sources, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this thing's gonna attack Edmund.
Me. Of course. I spear it with
Oh,
my
boy.
sword cane.
Good luck with that.
Thanks. I have liquid courage. I've been
You're
drinking.
gonna need it.
I've been drinking in the dining car.
Oh, you feel the thing like come out of the darkness behind you, and you like instinctively move to the side, and it just misses.
Nice.
So
Can I fight back?
Oh, you can certainly try. But
Fuck
it's
that.
gonna go in dex order. So
Okay.
who is the most dexterous gets to
That's
go
probably
first.
me.
I have a 60.
70?
I have 86.
And how do you have 86?
How do I? So I had a bonus earlier, and then I threw a majority of my points in dex to get a high dodge early in game.
I see.
So
I
what are you
see.
gonna do, Daniel?
I'm gonna fucking book it.
Okay, so you guys are in
Those
the dark.
creaks, because as he's
He
just
just-
going
He
full
just is like,
vanilla.
ah, and he's running. You just see the fire, like, trailing behind him,
As he
Is-
leaves us in the dark.
burning tablecloth. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I just sprint. I try to hop the bar, but I probably bang my knee against something, and I just keep moving, man.
Who's next in the speed?
I've got 70.
Beats
Okay.
me.
You know what? Can I easily reach, Vyacheslav's flask of alcohol?
Probably not. It's probably inside his jacket
It
pocket.
would be in my jacket pocket, yeah.
Oh, then
Gonna burn
what I'm
his
gonna do-
alcohol? Oh my god, you are.
no. I'm gonna hold like my lighter at like at the cautious distance from Vyacheslav's mouth and say, "Have you ever seen a fire breather? We might need that now. And I know you've got strong alcohol."
That's awesome.
Vyacheslav looks at you and says, I think I understand what you want me to do, and I'm not sure how comfortable I am doing it, but I think I'll do it.
Meanwhile, Edmund's like waving his sword cane around in the air, and he's like, "Whatever you men are planning on doing, just do it."
Dash it all. Which one of you has a higher dex? Is that Edmund or Vyacheslav?
60 for me.
I have a 50.
6-0 for me.
All right, so you can try and swing at this thing.
Yeah, I'll take a swing at it. And I continue my streak tonight.
Good job.
Thanks.
It's like trying to hit the darkness itself.
Oh boy.
All right, Vyacheslav.
I guess I'm gonna do the thing that Salvador recommended. Vyacheslav pulls out his flask and like he
I
just,
need
like,
to know which
gets
direction you are attempting to do this in.
I mean, I'm basically trying to avoid, furniture, and like as is, since it is alcohol, like it'll burn before it touches the ground. I do know a bit of fire breathing, like basically just like just blow the alcohol as fast as you can to avoid, like you cannot just do like if you were spitting water. It's gonna be like. Then usually just like like a gust, and it
So
goes. Like,
you don't light your face on fire?
And that's the step one, but also like if you do it that suddenly, like it just like 2 or 3 seconds of flame and it doesn't move that far. So
Hey,
I'm trying to do it as controlled as I can.
You're fucking nuts, bro.
I love our party.
No credit for
We're
thinking
the
outside the box
Best.
here.
Seriously, I love it. I fucking love it.
Thank you.
But yeah, Vyacheslav.
Are you
takes
sure
just,
you
like,
haven't done a turn with Barnum and Bailey's at some point?
just a huge swig
comment.
of vodka and just well, I'm spraying it at the thing.
Mhm.
Well, what direction? Because it's like it's kind of hard to see. It's yes.
Mhm.
You have a 1 in 4 chance of getting it. Good luck.
Okay, well, how close was, like, so obviously I'm behind Edmund, and Salvador was behind me, so I know the direction that this thing is in.
So you guys
However,
are like
Edmund
here.
is there.
That is correct.
Yeah. At the same time, though, like since he has a sword, I imagine that Edmund is trying to like keep the thing, within distance of the sword, and then
Well,
like
he's not even sure where it is. He's just swinging it.
Yeah, and I mean,
then
like,
I'm blowing it in Edmund's direction because that's where the thing was.
I mean,
That's-
the one thing I was saying is, like,
What is
As it
this
sounds-
bullshit?
right? Salvador is holding the lighter, like hearing the commotion, so I assume that it will reveal something.
Well,
So
wait,
here's
who
what I'm
has
gonna want
light?
you to
Is
do.
it Salvador that has light?
Yeah, I have a lighter, which
You have a
right now
lighter.
put like about.
Well, I
I
mean,
think-
who was it? Oh, okay, that's right. All the lights went out.
Daniel
Yes.
had light as well, but he like booked it. Which way did you run, by the way? Did you run back the way we came, or
No, I
like,
ran
through the
through.
car?
No,
the
this
car.
way.
Okay.
So Vyacheslav, I need for you to make a fight roll, and I need for Edmund to make a fight roll to see whether he successfully dodges.
We are back.
Okay, is
Alright.
this like a
Fuck
fighting
me, I'm gonna
brawl?
like burn to death.
And
Is
that's
it
what it
fighting
was. I hope you don't hit the harpsichord.
Yeah.
Is this
ugh.
fighting
Ah,
brawl?
I failed by 1.
Jesus.
I failed by a lot.
Holy schmoly.
And that's the thing, though, is that I've got a good fighting.
Mhm.
Just
All right, so you take 3 hit points of damage from
Jesus.
the fire.
Oh god. Is there like an on fire symbol? How about this?
Are you on? Well, I don't think you'd be on fire.
Yeah, like as is, like there's not really enough for it to catch on. Like, see, like I've done my research when it comes to setting things on fire. Like a good chunk of it is because after playing Warhammer 40k, you just learn every single way of torching something safely. It's kind of a necessity.
So I just get singed, I guess.
Yeah.
So when Vyacheslav does that, like I imagine the way that the way this happens is because Vyacheslav has no idea what the hell he's doing. He doesn't do it quite right, and it manages to singe poor Edmund.
Like,
To which
obviously.
Vyacheslav,
Everything I've
like,
done.
I want to
You
know how
suck.
many HP points Edmund loses.
3.
Three. Out of my
Rip.
3 out of my 9.
To which point I look at Salvador and I'm like, and what was that supposed to do again?
Well, it's a source of light, and we're fighting something that seems to be a shadow. It is to either burn it or, I don't know, dissipate it. Here, give me the
So-
flask.
So the thing comes out of the shadow and takes a swipe at Salvatore now and slices him. And
Can I dodge?
You can attempt to dodge, sure.
All right. Hey.
Hey!
Yeah, nice. So you managed to dodge out of its way.
Mhm.
It's your turn now.
All right. Then what I'm gonna do will be like first I take Vyacheslav's.
I
flask
scream
of
from the
vodka.
other end of the room, guys, just fucking run! You
Like,
can't
and,
kill
like,
a shadow!
Like this time, like considering that I did get a look at the room beforehand, like I'm gonna angle it and like I guess you could say like aim high. Take Vyacheslav's flask of vodka and then still with a lighter in my hand, I'm gonna try and burninate the thing. Ah, so close. At least I wasn't aiming at either of them.
So, you spray it in the direction where you knew the thing was last, which is over here.
Uh-huh.
And the fire goes into the alcohol-soaked bar, and the bar just bursts into flames.
Well,
You guys are idiots.
we have a light source now.
Oh no!
We have a light source now, so this at least should make easier to see the creature, right?
I think this is the point where we just use my operate heavy machinery and we disattach the train car.
That would probably be a terrible idea.
It's too fucking funny.
We just fucking destroyed the Orient Express on our first night.
Nah, don't worry. What I'm gonna at this point, I'm gonna tell Edmund. Since I know that we have the hot water unit there. Like, all right, Edmund, use this clearing. Go for the water.
So at this point, the door opens, and you just hear like coughing, and several porters come through, and you can hear Henri's voice. Sacre bleu, what's going on in here?
I'm gonna use the person.
Are you insane?
See, here's the thing. Once I hear the like the door like opening, I made sure to to like turn off my lighter, and like at that point, okay, I guess I get in the pocket and I turn around, and I'm gonna
I
use
take
my
it this thing
persuade.
just disappears, right?
Huh?
Probably.
The shadow thing, it just disappears.
Oh yeah, it's vanished.
Yeah.
God damn it.
What a scumbag.
And at that point, I'm gonna turn to him and just like look like, oh my god, have you seen it? There was a man here. I don't know. I believe he may be like, maybe one of those anarchists or something. I don't know. He seemed fairly disheveled.
So
He was
they,
wearing a
they're
vest.
like they're beating down the fire with tablecloths and stuff.
Basically, I'm trying to sell it as like basically we saw a man that like
Yeah.
ran off.
Henri is doing his best to keep himself, composed. He's like, fixes his hair, says,
Should I roll persuade in order to
I'm gonna say no because you just burnt his train. There's nothing you can do that's gonna persuade him, but he's going to say, Monsieur.
The question is, does he know though that I did so?
Well, yeah.
You're surrounded by engulfed train.
And your friend looks like Elmer Fudd after he just got blasted with a shotgun.
And you're holding like a half-empty bottle of liquor and a lighter.
Fuck.
So he says.
Okay, I know at that point.
I don't know if you've ridden on this shrine before, but we pride ourselves in a certain type of decorum, and obviously that you've enjoyed yourself this evening. Maybe you've had a bit too much to drink. I'll make sure to censure the bartender for his lack of judgment. Do not worry. Just retire to your room. Have a good night's sleep, and we'll take care of the billing later.
Well, I still feel mortified, and like at that point, like I guess in order to smooth things over, since as is I'm already the family's disappointment anyway, just gonna put like one of the treasury notes, and like of course at this point I might as well play the drunk part, so like a bit shaky, and like it takes me a couple of efforts, but make sure to hand him like the banknote and just I don't know, and, like he wobbles a bit. And yeah, like he's just going to return to his car and just play the drunken bit.
Yeah, you hear him mutter something like about the mountain airs. Sometimes people can't handle the altitude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and Edmund will approach him and kind of shoo Salvador away and say, "I'm sorry for my friend. He's a little bit out of sorts today. Your man at the bar behaved admirably. There's no reason to censure him at all. Most of the alcohol that was consumed was done in our room. Please let us know if there's anything we can do to help take care of this. I appreciate your discretion, sir."
You can count on me. Henri is here to help. Just maybe a little more moderace. A little more moderace, y'all. Please.
Oui, monsieur. I will take it under advisement.
I have to keep the shrine running. I cannot. No one can eat in here tomorrow. This is most unusual, but it happens from time to time. I understand. You're all tired and it's your first night on an exciting journey. You're all...
Yes, and my friend here is royalty. You know how they can be at times.
Yes, I only know too well. But you can count on Henri. Henri is here.
Thank
We'll
you,
take
Henri. You're a very good man.
He's basically unflappable, you know. He's
Probably seen it all. Like
Yeah.
all the spoiled assholes from like all
Yes.
over.
Mhm.
Like,
It would be a miracle if the bar is not like not operational with no hint of fire at all in the morning, you know.
I mean, I
He'll-
don't know. Like, these guys are very diligent.
Oh no, he'll make sure that you know, everything is tip top.
Yeah.
and while I'm talking to him, I like look over at Daniel and give him a nod, like, "Hey, go."
Oh man, I was already at the other side. As soon as they came in and saw you guys were okay, I
Nice.
kept going towards our thing. I don't deal with the authority. So I immediately started booking it back towards our room because I was still worried about the Fez being stolen.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand too, like, you left the burning tablecloth behind when you ran out, so they walked in, that, you know, that's probably what attracted their attention, was seeing, you know, you like slamming doors and like running, Wah! And he's like, what is going on? And they saw the fire, and they went downhill from there.
That's for Shane.
Let me post something for you.
This is gonna turn into like a forum troll.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah. I mean, we'll just make sure, you know, Henri's got everything under control and apologize profusely, and then we'll
Yeah.
see ourselves back towards wherever Daniel's, you know, currently at, back at the rooms, I guess.
I guess it's, you know, like, might as well just, you know, like, in my case, I keep the act of, you know,
Yeah,
Alcohol.
no doubt. Yeah, just play
altitude.
up the drunk royal
know-
aspect of it, and
Right.
Yeah. Plus, he
Call it
also
a
said,
night.
you know, something about the altitudes, and you know, like he's not used to being in the Alps.
You basically pulled a Paris Hilton.
yeah, exactly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or Keith Richards, as the case may be.
Yep.
So when he and Vyacheslav get back to the cabin,
Hmm.
Vyacheslav says, Salvador, next time you have a bright idea like spitting fire, please make sure you know how to do so first.
Don't
Or
worry, my friend,
properly
I will
explain it
practice.
before.
Gentlemen, there shall be no more spitting fire on this ride.
Yeah.
Edmund says, and he furrows his eyebrows that are non-existent.
Exactly.
Well,
As the
At least-
smoke
Oh,
still
man.
wafts off his cloak.
The worst part is you have to explain this to Nigel in the morning.
Oh yes, poor Nigel. He's gonna have to take care of my
well,
clothing.
Clothes being ruined, he's gonna be just beside himself.
but yeah, again,
Um,
Edmund, I my most sincere apologies, and what I will say though is I think we should all sleep with our light on tonight. I think every night.
Fuck that.
Yes, I would agree.
For the rest
And,
of our natural lives.
Salvador, I accept your apology, but you must talk to my man Nigel and tell him what you did. For I fear to tell him what happened. I do not want to be the one who breaks the news to him.
I suppose he knows nothing of the actual business we're in.
My man Nigel is most trustworthy.
But Vyacheslav would say, however, gentlemen, I want to point out why we had to leave the cabin in such a rush. Those men, those Russians that were in the salon with you,
Mm-hmm.
they don't like me very much for my politics,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and they would very much see me dead if they knew I was on this train. So
Did they
I will
recognize
be-
you? Yeah,
I
just
don't believe they did, especially since I have shaved my beard since the last they saw me. Hopefully, they won't, but you know, I think it is best if I try and stay a little more hidden during this train ride.
Mhm. Yes, and considering that I did catch your name, I believe I might call Grigor the rest of the travel.
Shane, you asshole.
Wait, what did you say there? You cut out a little bit.
Oh, I said, and since I did catch your full name, I believe that for the duration of this train travel, it might be wiser to call you Grigor.
Yes, Grigor would be a far better name to go by.
And also much
Actually-
easier to say, my friend.
Actually, actually,
Wait,
Oh, God.
Vyacheslav would
burn.
suggest,
I'll be in the salon all week.
What's left of it?
So,
what were
Ben,
you-
I got to the rooms before everybody else. Do I see
Mhm.
anything?
No, it looks like nothing is out of the ordinary. Do you want to make a specific?
Yeah, I want
Roll
to
or
immediately
something?
check my hiding spot for the hat, the fez.
Yes, it's there, and the little safety precautions that you put in place to see if it had been tampered with are still in place. Like
It was
Um,
probably just maybe Nigel returning. I don't know.
you took one of your hairs and put saliva across the
Mm.
the top of the hat box so you could see if the hair is broken. Or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
It's like really discreet thief type stuff.
Did you? Can I take a look around to see if I didn't notice anyone had moved anything?
Yeah, it looks totally in order.
Hmm. All right.
Well, gentlemen, everything seems to be in order here. Maybe we should call it good evening and reconvene in the morning.
I kind of want to go take a look at the. Maybe we should do it tomorrow. I think tomorrow, what I think I want to do is find out where they keep the safe room with all the papers and everything, because I want to see Menkef and their papers. I want to see what they're up to, where they're going.
Well,
We
he's
also
going
need to locate where Menkef is in our sleeping car here as well.
Mhm.
I think we need to try and either, I don't know, maybe Mr. Fleetfoot break into his room or something if we can locate where he's at, or because he may have the Whispering Fez book on him.
I mean, and as he is seems like the only one whose luck is not failing tonight. He says,
Hmm.
it seems like he siphons all of our luck.
He's a luck vampire.
Mhm.
Those all sound like great ideas. So I think that would probably be a good place to stop. That's the end of the first day of travel.
Nice.